Hello, people of the internet. My name is Andrew Klager, and today we are going to be talking about literature, specifically motifs and themes, and we're going to be talking about what exactly these two terms are, what's the differences between them, and how you can spot them within different works of literature, including books and movies and etc., etc. So, let us get into it. So, we will begin this section as usual by asking the question of who even cares about finding themes or motifs. So, when you are able to do so, when you are able to find themes and motifs, you're able to take a large sum of information, absorb it, separate out the junk from the useful information, and establish patterns within that information that has been given to you, say through a book or a movie, etc., etc. And so when you're able to do that to establish patterns, it helps you draw conclusions about what the creator is really trying to tell you. And so you're able to make judgments about the particular work or about the particular movie, etc., etc., and then you're able to critically analyze whether or not you agree with what something is trying to tell you. And so essentially, the entire point of finding themes and motifs within works is to think critically, an incredibly useful tool to keep people from manipulating you, say through ads, or through politics, or through movies, or through books, through magazines, video games, etc. This is everywhere. So let's actually delve straight into it. So we're going to start off with motifs. So what is a motif? So a motif is an important and recurring element in a story. So you can typically sum up motifs in one or two words, such as love, fear of the unknown, innocence, family. Essentially, if you can get any sort of work, a book or a movie, and say this was about love, Romeo and Juliet was about love, this other movie was about innocence or family or whatever, this is a motif. It's those one or two words. Now, when you declare what the motif is by saying the motif is love or fear, it doesn't say anything more past these concepts of love and fear. So, an example of a motif, we're going to be looking at the Disney movie Lilo and Stitch. Hopefully you all have seen it. I definitely recommend it. It's kind of old. I think it was mid-2000s or so. You find it on Netflix. Pretty good. So one of the most striking motifs, the glaringly obvious one, would be the motif of Ohana, or family in this sense. And so we can point to it and say, oh, okay, Lilo and Stitch was about family. And so this is a motif because you can see it as a pattern throughout the entire movie. Now, let's talk about what a theme is. So a theme is slightly different than a motif. So a theme is the central message of whatever the work is. Now, when I say work, a work is technical term for basically saying the central message of anything, whether it be a book or movie, etc. Just as a little bit of a clarification here. So what is the work trying to teach us? This is what the theme answers. And so the goal is to identify a motif, in which case we've identified family, and think about what the movie has to say about family. So we should start by asking a thought-provoking and a debatable question. So the question here in Lilo and Stitch is a family just people related to you, or can it include people not biologically related to you? So the Disney movie is asking you, the viewer, is family you, your siblings, your family friends, your blue alien dog, or the aliens trying to recapture your dog? And so this is the question that you're going to be asking, and some people will be saying, Well, no, family is just whoever is biologically related to you, and other people say, no, a family is what you make of it. A family is the people that you choose to love and to be with and to associate yourself with. So this is what we're going to be looking at in this particular work. So now we are going to work on finalizing our theme. So in the previous slide, we asked the question, is family strictly biological, or is it more social? Do we choose our family, or are we born with our family? So the question now becomes, for you as the writer, how do you think Disney defines family based on Lilo and Stitch? So in order to solve this, or to at least answer it, we have to look at Stitch as a character, the actual main protagonist of the movie. And so Stitch is an experiment, right? He is experiment 626-626, created by an evil, mad scientist on some far-off world. So he has no actual genetic relatives. So he's just this monster that nobody wants and nobody can have because he has no family. So he comes to Earth, befriends this little girl in Hawaii, and through all kinds of shenanigans, creates his family by being there for her, by saving her from the main antagonist. And so this bond between them grows. And so essentially he creates his own family. So through this pattern that we see throughout the movie, we can say that Disney believes that family is something that you create, not just something that you were born with. Now, whether that is right or wrong is really irrelevant. The point is, do you think that this is the case, and can you prove it with evidence from the movie? And in this case, there's a pretty strong correlation between creating a family versus being born with a family. And so this down here, this bottom passage, is something that you create, not just something that you're born with, will be the very platform for our thesis, our jumping off point. We will further refine it in our next video involving writing the actual thesis statement. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep on critically thinking, and we will see you in the next video.